All right, so here we go, guys. Good afternoon. Glad you could all join us. So here we are with the Technology Conference 2023. My name is Ms. Evelyn Trevino, and I'm here to teach you all about mystery. So I see I have some colleagues from my campus. Nice to see you all. For me, I teach at PSJA Early College High School Bears, and I teach chemistry, so I mostly deal with 10th graders. So I'm in the science field. But this pixel art, honestly, you can adjust it to any topic, any grade level, really. All it depends is your creativity as far as what kind of questions you're targeting or what is the skill that you need the students to learn, whether it be vocabulary based, math problem based, or even in English. It just depends on how you set it up. And we'll go a little bit more into that afterwards. So before I forget, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you signed in already. Again, you only have to do it once with our remote check-in code TECH23. And because remember, we do have some door prizes going on. So as long as you check in, you may be eligible to win one of the, I don't know how many prizes they have on the website. Just give me one moment because I'm trying to get the chat also on my phone so that way I can see if there's any messages in case I miss any questions. All right, so quick introduction. Hello, welcome to the world of pixel arts. I'm, like I said, Ms. Evelyn Trevino. I've been teaching at Early College High School, so the Bears campus, for about 5 years. I teach 10th grade chemistry. And as far as pixel arts, personally, I've known about them since that whole COVID year where we were at home, but I didn't use it until the following year because I give myself a good, I guess you can say, time period of learning something new before I incorporate it into the classroom. And this is one of the things that I absolutely loved adding into the classroom. And a lot of my students actually really fell in love with these pixel arts as well, which is the best thing, especially when the students love it. Oh, it's echoing. Maybe if I Okay, I'll keep going since I'm not sure. If it's still echoing, please let me know. So some of you may be wondering, what are mystery pixel arts? Basically, it's a coded Google Sheet file. So it's something that's free. It's part of the whole Google package that we have with Google Classroom and everything. And it can be used as an assignment, a quick check, or even practice. How I use it in the classroom, when I teach a new topic, I give pixel art, so kind of like a practice. I still take it for a grade, but it's something that the student doesn't give up, they can do really well on it. And it's basically them checking what they understood, if they understood it well. I'm gonna be honest, guys, a little sad. There was supposed to be a little GIF here showing, but it's not showing right now. But on with the show. Here are a few examples of the different mystery pixel art reveals that I use in my classroom. Again, like I said, I teach chemistry, so mine are mostly science and math based. But again, any one of these, and I'll be giving you guys some of these files too, you can just edit and change it to fit your need. So what do? They give immediate feedback for students. It can be used for most subjects. Again, how you set it up, it's going to vary. And it can be used in multiple ways, depending on the question types. So here I have one assignment for significant figures, which is a math problem we cover in chemistry. And it's simply the students looking at the numbers given and then tell me how many of those numbers are significant. So usually there's a question column, an answer column, and as they type in an answer into the answer column, if it's incorrect, you can set it up where it changes red to show you that it's incorrect. So for example, here where it shows you the 6, and then when they do get it correct, it changes to the color, and then you'll have an image slowly appear. Right. How do you use it? Again, like I said, it integrates with Google Classroom. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, so continuing on, and apologies that, technical issues. Hopefully now won't be switching. So before telling you guys about pixel arts, I want you to know about it from the standing point of a teacher. So cons, so the things that are not so good about pixel arts, if you're trying to make one from scratch, it is difficult and it does take time. Okay. The good thing is that there's actually a Facebook group with these awesome teachers and other like professionals that share these resources freely. Like they will literally, you can just search in your topic and whatever it is you're looking for, and chances of you finding it is very, very high. Or coding, which can be a little bit difficult to edit. You can actually look up a bunch of videos on how to code and then modify any existing files to suit your needs. And that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a little bit of the coding of the basics. One of the cons is that as you see the assignments on Google Classroom, it does show you a lot of files to grade because every single student, they post it, turn it in. I'm going to show you one way that you can view the files so you can grade it a little bit quicker, because depending on how you have the view, it can be graded almost visually and just right away. One thing I do want to mention is the drop-down option, because you can code these files with a drop-down option. I'm gonna honestly say I don't like using that one because I tried it one year and my students just did, okay, open, click, second option, first option, third option. They just kept going. So I'm gonna highly frown upon the drop-down option for Excel files. Now, in terms of students, cons, students, no matter what, they will always try to take the easy way out by trying to copy. So students can copy easily. All they literally have to do is take a picture of the answers and then share it, but that's like with most assignments. So one thing that you can do to beat this is restricting how much time they have to finish these assignments. The pro is that most of the students that I've seen, at least, the majority of them enjoy solving these assignments by themselves and seeing the image that comes out to the end. I've even had students in the classroom where they are competitively trying to figure out what the image is before anybody else. So it's entertaining for them. And most of the time when you have that kind of group of students, you have less of them trying to just copy and cheat their way through it. Cons, students can just use trial and error depending on how you set up the question. For example, if it's just a 2-option question, they would just have to put, like, for example, true. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, false. And then keep going. But you can also build a rapport with the students. So that way they have less like of a chance to, you can no longer hear me. That's not good. Let me see if disconnecting this will work better. Let's see. Can you guys hear me better with just the computer? Okay. All right, so then better without the headphones. Sorry guys, I got the headphones just specifically for my kids, because so that way I can actually just hear you guys in case you have questions, and not my kids running in the background. Okay, good. All right, then I'll continue. Cons, depending on how you set it up, you do have to guide the students a little bit, especially when you're barely introducing pixel arts for them, and kind of show them like, hey, this is how it's set up, this is how you complete it. And depending on the assignments or the activities, you may have to reiterate how to complete one, like every time you assign one. But if you have detailed instructions written on the assignment, it makes it easier for the students to see it and understand what they need to do. So setup, usually there's a 3-column area. You have the question column, which is written by you, the teacher. This should be the thing that students are not changing. An answer column, that when you post it for the students, this column should be blank. That's where the students are going to come in and type in their answers. And then depending on if they got it right or wrong, the image reveal area, which is where the answer is correct, the image starts showing up. And if it's not, either nothing happens or maybe just red show up on the screen, depending on how you set it up. Another option that I've seen when people make these is that they have the image behind like a wall of color. So when they're answering the questions, the color slowly kind of disappears. Like for example, a purple cover, and some of it just takes off and reveals the picture. So 2 ways to code, and this is where I'm going to tell you be careful with which files you grab to use. There are some that use what's called a hidden sheet. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to do that one, but I know there's a lot of YouTube videos that do. The one I do is a lot easier. So Like this one example over here, this is the type that has a hidden sheet where you have another one that has all the answers there typed out for you, hidden where the students can't see it. Most of the time, if your students are not tech savvy, they won't even try looking for it. They won't know. But if they are on the tech savvy side, they might try. But personally, I like this kind of assignment. So what I use is conditional formatting, where answers are typed in from vocabulary or word banks, depending on how you use it. And there's also data validation. These are the two main ones that I use. Where here, answers are selected from a drop-down menu. Again, this is the one where you got to be careful that students might just be clicking, clicking, clicking until it's correct. So we're going to try one out. I'm going to click on this real quick, and I'm going to share it to you guys on the chat. So that way you can kind of explore what one of them has. So give me 1 second. So that way I can copy this for you all. Okay. So on the chat, I have posted a link. This is a make a copy or a forced copy link. When you click it, you will be seeing this Excel. And let me share this tab instead so that way you can see it. So this is one that I made specifically for this conference. And this is kind of like one of the more basic ones that I did in the beginning of the school year. So here I have my questions and I have my answers. And then right up here, I have my instructions. So here, word bank, use the following to fill in below. We have the words chemistry, we have a couple of numbers, 740, 10th, 23, 24, 3rd, my name, Evelyn Trevino, 3rd, mystery Pixars, and so forth. It says once you have the correct answer, copy the same answer into the second column. So those are my directions for the students. So you can explore this with me, or you can just view it on the Teams, up to you. Oh, it's saying that you all need access. Okay, give me 1 second. I probably forgot to edit the shared settings. Oh, yeah, that's what I forgot. Okay, I think I just changed the settings. Can y'all check it? Remember, this should be downloading one into your direct files. Okay, I got a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, so meanwhile, I'll show you from here on my screen how this works. So this is PSJA's blank annual virtual technology conference. It's the 3rd. So double click, start typing in your answer or the answer that you think it is. Click enter. If it's correct, it'll change colors. And then you keep going. Now, settings can vary. Some automatically, when you type in one answer, it starts showing the image on the right, or you have to type in all the answers first before it reveals everything. So that's just some variations that I'll be showing you. So here, the number of presenters and vendor presentations today is about, I believe they said the number was 740. Last year we had, oh. Now I'm trying to read all the answers. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly though, because I want to show you the coding rather than me just filling out the answers. Let me see here. Name of the conference is We Create. This session is called Mystery Pixel Art Reveal. We're about to start the 23-24 school year. My name is Evelyn Trevino. And as you can see, the colors start appearing. Some of them, I might have to go back and I'm probably adding extra spaces where they shouldn't be. On my campus, ECHS, I teach 10th grade. Okay. Oh, 70/40 is supposed to go there. Okay. So you kind of get the idea from here. Now I'm going to copy it over onto the next one. So this one would be like a 2-question column. Now here's something I want to show you. So this is for more of my English teachers when you want to be very technical about how the students write. So for this one right here, we create, it's the same answer, but the difference being whether you want the students to incorporate capitalization. So this is where little things here and there differ in the coding depending on what you need the student's skill to be. So this one, same thing. This one, we needed some capitalization. Okay, and you kind of get the idea. I'm trying to go through this quickly so that way you can kind of see it. So here's my little figurine. Like I said, not all of them are filled in, so there's a couple of spots here missing. So this one's one I specifically designed and I changed around just for this PD session. And again, you guys have this now. So you can keep it, change it, use it how you need it, okay? Now I'm going to show you what the coding is in the background, all right? So some basics. On the answer column is where we're putting all the coding. So you would click wherever the answer column is. You're going to go to, give me a second, format and conditional formatting. This is basically the main 2 buttons you're going to be using. From there, it shows you here the custom formula. Like I said, find the ones that are already done, and all you have to do is just change these answers. So right here, my formula has my answer being 3rd. I could easily go in there, change it to 4th. And as you can see, that column where it was previously green has now went to blank, or now has gone to white. If I go back, I can change that to 4th. That's some of the coding. So that's with numbers, okay? If we do one of the ones with words, we create, and it shows you the formula right over here. And then it shows you the difference between whether you want just the words, it can be all lowercase or however they write it, lowercase, capitalized, and it'll be fine. Or you can have this specific formula if you need it to be capitalized or written exactly as you wrote it on your cell. Now I'm going to show you real quick my slides from before, so that way I can show you some of the basic coding. Let me just give it a second so it can load through. Okay, so coding basics. When it comes to words, usually they need to be inside quotation marks. So something that looks like this little coding, whatever column letter that you're in for whatever row the problem's in, and the word has to be inside quotation marks. Lowercase words, or if you don't, it doesn't matter how they write it, can be written like this. If you need it specifically how you wrote it, including capitalized words, then the coding will have to look like this, okay? When it comes to numbers, you do not need quotation marks. It can just be without. So for example, this 3rd, because you have the letters RD, you need the quotation marks. Things to watch out for when you assign these kind of assignments, capitalizing or not, if that's a skill you want the students to have or to keep in mind when they're writing. Blank spaces are usually the biggest thing. A lot of our students, when they are typing, they automatically add an extra space to whatever word or sentence they're writing. If they have this, the file is going to automatically think that you're trying to add more and it's going to count it wrong. Spelling, we might have a couple of students who are dyslexic. In that case, I would recommend a word bank within the assignment so that way they can see the spelling. And then Another thing I always recommend, change the fonts so you can see people who try to copy and paste, because these students do not know how to copy and paste without it showing. So I'm going to show you back to that previous document. Share this tab instead. Okay. So for example, let me close this. If I wanted to look at the conditional formatting for this, the number 740, like I said over here on the right, no parentheses needed. But if you're going to have a letter in there, parentheses are needed. If you want it to be exactly capitalized, it has to have the word exact and then the coding. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you add an extra space. So let's say this one where it says third. Third, I add an extra space accidentally, click enter. Even though it's spelled correctly, even though everything's there, because it has that extra space, it's counting it wrong. So a lot of your students, because they're going to ask you, especially the first couple of times of using this, they're going to ask you, Mr., like I'm doing this, it's showing me everything wrong, but I'm looking at so-and-so's answers and it's the right answer. What's going on? So you tell them either one, it's a spelling, or two, you're adding an extra space. And I'm gonna be honest, that's one of the things my students really hated about these, because they would get annoyed because they would just be like, oh, it's the spaces again. So again, careful with those extra spaces. Okay. Let me go back to the presentation. Now, as far as how do you post these kinds of assignments on Google Classroom, I made a quick GIF on the instructions how to post it. And I also have step-by-step instructions on the slide because I will be giving this to you guys later. Now, one thing to make sure is that the file you are gonna assign to the students is blank. It does not have the answer keys written. When I show you this Facebook group that gives you these assignments and activities for free, a lot of them leave the answers on it so that way you can have access to it and you can see what the answers are supposed to be. Make sure you delete them before you assign it. So create assignment, click your drive, find the file. Again, make sure the answers are not seen. And then one thing, you have to make sure you click make a copy for each student. That is the one important setting that you need. After you have that ready, then you can just post it to your Google Classroom and then you're done. Easy way to grade Mystery Pixel Art Reveals. Again, I did another quick GIF on how I go onto it. So I click view instructions and I'll click student work. And I can do a quick check of all my assignments for all my students. And I can kind of see, okay, the picture's complete. It's all there. All the answers or the boxes are colored in. Easy 100, I can grade. Another way is on here, you can click each student and you can actually go through the list and grade them individually as well, if you want to go in and check. Troubleshooting with students, because some of them, especially the first few times you use this, they're gonna accidentally mess something up. They're gonna erase questions or answers, or they might just delete the whole thing. And a lot of it might not be intentional. So tell the students to let you know immediately when something messes up. Because if they just messed it up once, they can click the undo button and that's something they can fix themselves. But if they wait till later, you can undo it, but the only way you can undo it is if you reset the whole file, which, I mean, they might not like, but it will be one thing to help them out. So I'm going to show you that real quick with that other file. So let's say here's my Excel again. Let's say I accidentally deleted all of this. Oops, I don't know what the questions are, teacher. Like, how can I fix this? What do I do? I want 100 and I am panicking because I don't know what I just did. And I don't know why undo is not working. You as the teacher can go into Google Classroom onto that student specific file and you can actually undo the edit. Now it looks a little differently than it does here, but you can click view history and you can see all the files that they've edited. So like you can see when I was working on this before the presentation, like back in June. So you can go and click the previous file and you can click restore this version, but it does lose some other answers. So one thing I recommend is telling the students, okay, before I reset it for you, take a pictures of the answers you have left, just so that way they don't have to do it again. And then they can go and you can go in and restore that version for them. So we can restore it to this version. I'm not going to click it though, because I only did one undo. So but that's one thing that you can do it as a teacher. And again, will you have that happen often? Maybe in the first 5 times you've tried this, and hopefully after that they get used to it and they stop, you know, doing these little things here and there that mess it up. Okay, going back to the presentation. So again, let them know right away, like, hey, if you mess up, click undo right away. Control Z if they know about the control buttons, or have them inform you right away. Now, here are some free Excel files for you all to download. In a little bit, I'm going to share these slides to you. So here I have some more elementary level assignments. So English, here's some grammars, some math. I gave you a bunch of different ones for different topics. All you got to do is click the image and it will automatically make a copy into your drive. Again, make sure to delete the answers. Some of them have the answers set up, some of them do not. But these are some free Excel files that I'm having you guys download. I didn't get to add all of them yet because I was having issues with my computer before joining in. But I did get to add one for biology. I have a bunch for chemistry. So if there are any other chemistry teachers out there, let me know. I've got a bunch that you can use. I did get some 8th grade math, geometry, algebra. Like I said, this is something that can be used any level, any topic. You just need to be creative on how you assign it. For example, geometry, here they did image problems. You can incorporate an image or a whole formula and then have the students answer it depending on what you're looking for. I even have some for history and I have some for English. And again, a lot of these that you see for other topics, other languages, all I've simply done is just change them to suit my needs. And again, if you want more free resources, the Facebook group is called Mystery Pixel Art for Math and Science, if you are a Math and Science field, or Pixel Art Mysteries in Education. Between these two, the second one's my favorite because it has a whole bunch, and that's where I got a lot of my chemistry ones. Warning, again, check how the file is coded because there's a whole bunch of different ways to set these up. Be wary of color by number files, and it'll tell you those because those are a little bit harder. I don't like those anymore. They were really cute, but I did not like how they worked out. I've also attached some recommended YouTube videos in case anybody is interested in just making their own from scratch. Like I said, though, it is more difficult. It does take some more time. It'd be easier to just modify from existing. So I also show you here how to manipulate files and then how to incorporate drop-down menus in case you do want that. And again, so many more people have been going over these on YouTube, so make sure you look through them. And if you want, I can always give recommendations aside from just these 3. Okay, yay, I ended a little bit early. Okay, so thank you guys for joining our PSJA We Create Technology Conference. Again, make sure that you have used the check-in code so that way you can get some of the door prizes. And of course, this recording, I'm going to ask them to edit it a little bit before they share it. But you'll always have access to this recording on this Teams message. They're also going to be uploading it to their YouTube channel. And I'll be sharing my slides in a moment in the chat box so that way you guys can have it. But if you can do me a favor and click the session, let me share with you all the survey session in the chat so that way you guys can have it.